Hi, I'm Kenneth Wajda, and welcome to another one of my photography talks. Today I want to talk about a piece of gear that if we're going out shooting and we want to take something that's a bizarre, odd, but interesting, well-made camera. Today we're talking about the Mercury 2. So the Mercury 2 was an American company, I believe, that made this camera with a rotary shutter. A friend of mine told me about this camera and said that he thinks it has a rotary shutter. And I said, no, this is just a little arched hump for design purposes. He said, no, it's got a rotary round shutter in it. And I looked into it, and it does. And it's considered a pretty accurate shutter. And the one he has doesn't have a lens, and I found this one, and it has a universal tricore 2.7 lens, 35 millimeter. So you're shooting a little bit wider than the typical 40s and 50s that they put on rangefinders and cameras back then. It's only one window, so it's guess focus. And all these cameras are guess exposure. You just use Sunny 16. But what's interesting is it's a half frame camera. So the viewfinder is oriented vertically. And what I see is a vertical frame, so it shoots two vertical frames in the space of a single 35 millimeter frame. So a row of 36 exposures gets 72 pictures out of this. And the negatives are half the size, certainly. It's got these very odd little setting wheels for the shutter speed and the aperture, but it's a good, well-built camera, and it works. And I just put film in it, and I've been shooting, I probably have a dozen shots on it, but I still have 60 to go because of the half frame situation. And if you're looking for a camera that you want to use for things that maybe you want to conserve on your film costs, a half frame camera, and Olympus makes really good ones, a half frame camera is, well, the reason they actually came out first of all was because people wanted to save on the cost of color film, and color film was expensive. And so they said, well, we'll make a film camera that was a half frame so that you can afford to shoot color even if you want to shoot 35 millimeter but you don't want to spend that much money for it. We'll double your output. Is it worth it nowadays when a full frame negative is so much bigger, and really it's already a miniature negative compared to a 4x5? Should you be going half frame? Maybe try it out and see. But this is an odd, interesting camera with a rotary shutter. If you're looking at these, the Mercury 2, they're not terribly expensive, like 50 bucks. But do not get a Mercury 1, because a Mercury 1 used a proprietary film cartridge that the camera company sold to you, and you had to send it back and they had to refill it for you. And so you can't use a standard 35 millimeter film cartridge. But the Mercury 2 you could. And that's what I'm using, and it's, again, a little cheap oddball camera that sometimes you just want to take out something odd, or you just want to go out and use it for both a creative space, but also a conversation piece, and that's what this is. It's the Mercury 2. All right, that's today's photography talk. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button and I'll bring you some more. Thanks for watching.